Hi everyone, and thanks for checking out our July Market Watch video. Before we get stuck into the charts, I'd just like to ask if you would like to be notified anytime we post a video up onto YouTube, just simply click the subscribe button below. And also, if you have any questions on any of the content I cover in this video, please feel free to comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so the US dollar has definitely been one of the strongest performing markets we've had in recent months. And if we take a little look, typical seasonal pattern for the US dollar, we'll see typical outperformance through May, where it performs quite well. A little bit of underperformance just towards the end, and then typically range bound through the majority of June. We just pop over to the US dollar chart, the dollar index, as the daily chart. You'll see that outperformance through May. A little bit of underperformance through here, which is quite mild relatively, and then we've been stuck in this range period that we typically get. So far, over the last few months, it's actually been performing very much in line with the seasonal pattern. So if that is the case, where do we go from here? Well, based off that, what we should be looking for is a little bit of underperformance through July. July is typically a weak month for the US dollar. It's actually the second worst performing month on average through the year for the dollar. If that is the case, there's three markets in particular I am going to take a look through today to watch over the coming weeks in line with us underperformance of the US dollar. There's quite a few others actually in addition to these three, but just to keep the video short and sweet, I'm just going to focus on those three, and obviously there will be quite a few other markets then to look out for as well in line with that dollar weakness. The main one, the first one I'm going to start with is the British pound. Another market that's been performing very well or very much in line with its seasonal period. The strong performance there earlier in the year, and then pretty much underperformance through April into the end of June and July. And again, let's just pop over to the pound chart and you'll see the outperformance at the beginning of the year, and then certainly an underperformance through end of mid-April, right down to where we're sitting at now, because Friday's bar closed just right there as we head into July. So following a line very closely with the pattern, and that leads into very nicely to July, which is one of the strongest months of the year for the British pound. So looking at, coming back onto the chart, just have a little bit of a zoom out. Looking at where we're at and looking at the weekly chart, we can certainly see exhaustion coming in here in price action. So it's looking like a little bounce is very much due, and I think we're probably heading up and towards this 36 area. 136, possibly even the 137, based on where the weekly is sitting. But for now, I think there's plenty of headroom for the pound to head to the upside over the next coming weeks. In line with that, another market I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on is the euro. Again, similar pattern to the dollar, or the opposite to the dollar. Underperformance in May, range bound through June, but then typically an outperformance through July. Again, over onto the euro. We can see certainly the underperformance through May, very much coming under pressure. We have a range down here through June, which has been a little bit frustrating, but unfortunately it's what we typically get, so we have to deal with that. But now looking at it, similar to what the pound has, there's a nice area sitting up here around the 120 area, so I think we've got nice headroom, nice room to move to the upside through here. And the weekly suggests we've got that room as well. So that's what I'm looking for, that bounce up towards that 120. I don't think any higher at this stage is possible, but I think at this point that's a nice point to aim for over the coming weeks. And the last market is the New Zealand dollar. Typically one that performs very, very strongly. Actually, the strongest performing market on average is the Kiwi dollar through the month of July. Very strong outperformance, where we're sitting at the moment as well on a strong level, and COT data is indicating very strong buying coming in, so there's certainly a rally very close, very soon coming in this market. So we can see the relative underperformance through June, again very similar to the others, the euro and the pound, in line with what we're seeing in the dollar. But now we're setting up for this period to run through. Tends to be quite sharp and not last that long, but that we could see a nice rally from the upside. Just pop over onto the chart. The Kiwi, looking at the levels where we're at, the first obvious target would be, so we're around that 70 region. That's a nice move to the upside that we're looking at through there. I actually think we can get higher than that. I think we can perform something like this, but that would need to see a run through end of July into August, so we'll see if we can do that. But certainly at this point, I think that would be a sensible target to aim for, so there's lots of room as well in line with that. The main driver is that dollar weakness, so it'll depend on the sentiment that we're getting in the market. We need to see sentiment improve, and a lot of markets that are correlated with the dollar, obviously, it's that sentiment to come back in line. But seasonally, that's typically what we see around this time of year. So those are the three I'm going to be focusing on over the coming weeks, in line with other markets that are obviously negatively correlated with the US dollar. So that's my view on those three, guys. If you want to follow along over the coming weeks, if you want to jump onto MMC TV, I'll be going through the market analysis each Monday in detail. Just pop onto the website and you can watch along every Monday night. Okay, guys, as I said before, any questions, by all means, pop it up below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Other than that, happy trading, and I will be back with another video next month.